Hello everybody. Today, May 25th, 1 year ago, 2019, we purchased our 2019 Toyota RAV4. And I'm going to do a 1-year review on it. Although instead of doing an objective review, this is going to be more of a subjective review. If I said that right. Instead of giving you opinions and stuff, I'm going to give you more of a tour and overall review of the vehicle and what, if somebody's looking to purchase one of these or lease one like we did, what they should expect. So here it is. This one was redesigned for 19. It's in a ruby flare pearl color, which was actually a special color. See, 17-inch steel wheels there. I believe they did a very good job refreshing and actually completely redesigning these. They are actually built on a truck platform now as opposed to a car platform, which I prefer. It gives a higher driving position. Here's the rear. This one is just the base model, the LE. We didn't want anything fancy or anything like that. But also, it was either this or an Equinox. And this is our third RAV4, and we're pleased with every one of them. You can see we do just have regular steel, wheel covers, no rims on this one, but it's fine. I really don't care. I do wish, though, the older models of this, the ones that we had before, the 2014 and the 2016, both had rims on the base model, so they got rid of that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and hop in and we'll take a look at it. It's got the Toyota Smart Key, or not Smart Key, but the Flip Key switchblade. I like this key design, it's nice. Obviously if you step up you'll get a push button, but this one doesn't have that, so we'll unlock it. There's where your fog light inserts would be if you had fog lights. I do like the fact that the mirrors are actually body colored, even though there's a little panel that isn't. So let's hop in. New door handles, which I like the look of these a lot more. Pretty much everything in this has been redone in some way or another. The door panel is pretty different from the old one. Mirror controls are in a different spot. There's different things. I'll point them out. New floor mats. This has just a black cloth interior, although it is nice. It's got kind of a pattern. Feels very high quality. Manual seats, of course, where you'd move it forward and backward. Your lift, and then you can move the back of the seat. So let's hop in. So the steering wheel is new for 2019, which I prefer the look of this a lot more over the look of the old one. The look of the old one looked a little I don't really know how to say it. It just wasn't, it was not as aesthetically pleasing, I don't think, as this one. So new for 2019, you can see the gauge cluster is new, and it's kind of like an old Lexus where it lights up. Got a little storage cubby there, that's new. They did move the release for the fuel door from down here to up here, right next to the hood release. That's not my favorite location. I didn't have a problem with it being right here. But I'm always worried that I'm going to pull one when I mean to pull the other. That's one thing I don't like about these. So let's go ahead and we'll start it up and we'll see how she sounds. Alright, let's go ahead and start it up. Take the key and we'll put it in. Again, no push button in this model. New chime for 2019, which sounds a lot nicer than the old one that they had. The old one was kind of cheap sounding and they'd been using it for a long time. Gauges glow. And here we go. Sounds very nice. Alright, so now it's running. See up there's the screen with detections for doors. being open or closed, which is nice. Digital speedometer. We'll go ahead and let's turn on some of the lights. Headlights, we'll turn on the hazards. And we will also pop down the driver's side window, which all of the windows in here are automatic down and up, which is a real nice touch. So now we will roll down the driver's side window, and we will pop the hood. And I guess the fuel door too, why not? So let's take a look outside of the vehicle. So it does have mirror turn signals, which the old models did not have. That's a nice touch, even on the base model. Coming around to the front, you can see we have LED headlights, which is more of a, bright, more of a luxury car type feature, but yeah, those are really bright. Turn signals, which, not a big fan of the placement of the turn signals. I wish that they were more over here, sort of, but they're fine, they work. Again, just cutouts here, since this is the base model. Come around back, and we'll take a look at our taillights. Nice taillights. I prefer the look of these taillights 100% over the look of the previous model's taillights. But yeah, I just think these have a much swoopier, more visually appealing, if that makes any sense, visually appealing look to them. Got your reverse lights here, of course. We'll demo those. RAV4, LE, backup camera is nice and hidden up there. Come around the side again. Nice fuel door. Toyotas do it on the driver's side, which is my preference. Undo, very simple to open, and then click. No E85, no flex fuel. Outside, like I said, you have 17-inch wheels with these just sort of steel hubcaps. Pretty simple to pop off. But yeah, just basic hubcaps under that. Or just, there's no rims, unfortunately. The base models on the old ones had rims, which I prefer, but it's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and we'll pop the hood now, and we'll take a look at our engine. Now, one thing about the hood opening, the way that this works is, in the cold, or if it's been closed for a long time, it kind of sticks down, and you have to sort of hit it a couple times in order for it to actually pop up. Sometimes it'll stay down. Just not my favorite thing. I did like the placement on the, I did like the old hood models better, with the hood placement. And I do like the fact that the hood is back farther. There's kind of a couple inches of room here, but I'll open it. Very simple to open, release. And it's got a prop rod, which is attached to the hood, so we'll open that. You gotta pull it out. And then it simply snaps into this little hole. Believe it or not, I actually like the design of having the prop rod attached to the hood. So here is the 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine. It makes 203 horsepower and I believe 184 pound-feet of torque. The only other engine available for the 2019 is the hybrid 2.5-liter four-cylinder, which makes 219 horsepower. Unfortunately, there is no V6 option available for 2019, which is kind of a downside for me. Here's the engine, like we said. Looks nice. There's the battery. Very simple to work on engine. The one thing I don't like is how far back it is. It's not right here, it's all the way back here. But you know, it's okay. You know, you got your dipstick. This is actually vinyl, which is kind of interesting. Wiper fluid, pretty easy, relay infused. Everything's labeled pretty well. See the top of the headlights there. But it's a very easy to use, easy to understand engine. There is your information right there. And right there. So we will go ahead and we'll close the hood now. So we will pull that out, and then I'll see if you can watch as I place it back. You sort of just, you snap it downwards and then it stays in place, and then, you know, you close it. Would have been nice to see actual struts, I think is what they're called. Or the hydraulic, like the pistons that hold up the hood as opposed to a prop rod, but I believe that's probably an option on the upper end models. So let's hop in and we'll take a look at the interior. Oh, before we do that, I have the original manufacturer sticker. Let's look at it. LE front wheel drive. I covered the VIN number. Ruby Flare Pearl, Woodstock, Ontario. Pretty good fuel economy, 26 city, 35 highway. Not sure what the hybrid is, but I'll insert it here. So this is all the standard equipment. 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission. This one's front-wheel drive. This one only has a couple of options. You have the $500, almost $600 option for blind spot monitor, rear cross-traffic alert, the color-keyed heated power outside mirrors with turn signal and blind spot warning indicators. This is a special color that costs us almost $400. You have the rear area cargo cover, which we'll look at later, and carpet floor mats, which are these. And the MSRP of this one was $25,500. We got it on a deal. I think we got it somewhere, I don't remember exactly how much it was. Delivery $27,539, but we got a deal on it. That's why we ended up with, you know, the special color and all that. So there's the window sticker. Now let's actually hop inside and take a look around. So we'll close the door, turn off the hazards, headlights. Oh, you know what we should probably look at? Let's look at the brights, because I'm sure somebody will ask. So there are the, my mistake. So the brights on this one are actually automatic. They don't come on unless the car senses that it's dark enough for them to come on, so unfortunately I can't show you the brights. Forgot about that. Okay. So like I said, we have all automatic power windows there. Window lockout. Lock, unlock. Power mirror controls. Here you have for the gauge cluster, which you can dim, make brighter. The screen does dim, but you can control whether you want it to or not with that little dial. Daytime running lights, which is nice to have. We leave that on always. Brights. I do prefer having the wipers over here, actually. We already saw the hood release down there. Gas and brake. You can tilt and telescope the steering wheel. I have it all the way in, so I have the most amount of room here. And you can lift it up. All your info here for radio. And then you also have the cruise control on here. Which, as opposed to most Toyota models, the older ones where the cruise control was somewhere in that area. So let's look at the gauges here. You got your tachometer, speedometer, temperature, and your fuel. This car, again, is pretty good on fuel. Outside temperature, time, speedometer, your distance to empty, your shift indicator, odometer, 9,126 miles. And then it also has your kilometers in there, which is nice. I'll show you the shift indicator here. Let's see. Reverse, neutral, drive, and then it actually shows if you're in manual selecting. Excuse me. It shows if you're in the manual selecting mode. So yeah, you got your electronic parking brake here. And this has a cool feature too. If you pull up on it, it has a, so basically what happens is you shift and it disengages the parking brake, and then when you lock the shifter again, the parking brake goes back on. That's a nice touch. Not my favorite though, automatic parking brakes. Modes, this would be stuff in the Adventure model. You have your power outlet and aux port, which is very nice to have in USB, especially because you don't have a CD player. Traction control off. Your climate controls, you'd have buttons here and buttons here. It's pretty powerful, actually. I'll close the window. Pretty nice climate control system. AC is very quick to engage and makes it ice cold in here, which is nice to have. It's not ice cold, but it's relatively cold. Not as cold as some of the cars I've been in. You'll see these are blank. Do that. Not dual zone, which would be nice to see, but you do have that on the higher end models. let's see, down here again, parking brake, you have your hold, which this is a very cool feature. What it does is when you're driving and you are at a stoplight, if you want to take your foot off the brake, you hit this hold button, and then you can actually release the brake at a stoplight. As soon as you hit the gas, it disengages, and you can just press it again at the next stoplight. Very nice feature. The shifter in these is redone. I like the way these look. Surprisingly, a little bit less, actually, as opposed to the older models. I do like the fact that it has a shift boot, though. That's something that always bothered me in our old ones. Shift indicator down here. They ditched the sort of pattern where you shift to the right to get out of park. But you have reverse, neutral, drive, and then you also have your manual shift mode. Reverse camera there. What else is there really to show? Let's look up here. Got your labels here, garage door opener. High. Light. I'm actually going to turn on this vent because it is almost 70 degrees. I am super hot. So I'm actually going to turn that on. Hopefully it's not too loud. Glasses case. You have an SOS button. Individual map lights, which look a lot cleaner looking than in the old models. One thing I do question is, where would the sunroof controls go? Because this obviously does not have a sunroof, it's base model. Where would the sunroof controls go? Mirror, which is auto-dimming. Not auto-dimming, I'm sorry, it's manual, so dim, non-dim. Let's see. Got your you-know-what bars right here. Seatbelts, which are adjustable, very simple. Your mirrors, which you can manually pull in if you want to. Your vents, which I like in these, you can adjust them very easily. They go up, down, really all you want. Dashboard up there. Soft touch, sort of soft touch, I guess you could say. You got a nice shelf there for storage. A glove box. Not too terribly big, but you do have your manual, and then Toyota likes to do a bunch of accessory booklets for other things. So, yeah. Let's look at the radio. Unfortunately, they ditched a CD player, but I don't blame them. I'm going to just turn the AC on. I don't blame them for doing that, because unfortunately, not many people use CDs anymore. Sad but true. I do have to say, though, in all honesty, I prefer the infotainment system over the infotainment system in our old one, a 2016, and our one before that, the 2014, over this one. Just the feel of this one is, it's not as familiar to me. I don't really love it that much. It's simple to operate, obviously. You know, you turn it on, turn on the radio, scroll over here, or tune with your buttons. You know, go all the way up to wherever you want. Oops. Audio. Sometimes it does that. Actually, you have to hit home to go back. So yeah, radio's pretty simple to operate. Turn it off like that. Audio off. You can put contact in, which is not my favorite thing. It's basically where you can set up like certain phone numbers that you have in your contact list as like speed dial. You just tap it. But what I found is the issue with that is there are a lot of times I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I want to turn the radio off. So when I reach over to click the button, I accidentally tap one of these. It's like that. It doesn't take 3 hits. Usually I just swipe it like that. And we end up calling our house by accident, because that's usually what's right in that spot, the left. So not my favorite thing. If you click menu, you can get to different functions. There's way too much stuff in here for me to talk about. If you want a separate video, let me know. Audio, of course, brings you to this. You can choose what you want to listen to. It's actually kind of hard to see, but map is, you have to set this up. I think you have to pay for it, but yeah. End tune. Seek and track for the radio. Click phone. It brings, alright, well, I'm going to have to blur that because it just showed our names and stuff. It's actually got my phone hooked up, as you can see by the top name right there. I'm actually going to have to blur that. And then you click apps, and it brings up basically all your infotainment apps and communications and all that. Go back to home. Let's see. This up here, I believe, is for one of the sensors. Not sure which. I'm sorry about that. Let's rev the engine. How about that? We'll listen to it. So yeah. Alright, let's rev the engine. I'll turn off the vents for that too. Listen to how our nice 4-cylinder sounds. Sounds very nice. Alright, we've pretty much looked at everything there is to look at up here, so let's go ahead and we'll move elsewhere to the back of the car. Shut down the engine. The park stays lit, I believe, until you lock the door. Sorry about the camera movements, gotta get the strap back in my hand. Let's move to the back seat. Move that over there. Ooh, relatively comfortable back seat. I'd say it's about the same as the previous RAV4. One thing I do like is that this seat up here is all the way back where I would sit if I were driving the car, actually a little farther back. And I'm 5'5", and I can still lean down. So I'd say up into probably people not taller than 5'10", you'd be able to actually scoot down a little bit, depending on where you are. Headrests are adjustable, and they also come out. Not going to actually take them out, though. No seat back pocket over here, but you do have one over here. Never understood why automakers do that. Little storage cubby, power outlet, a second one. One thing, in the 2016 RAV4s, there were actually 3 power outlets. There was one here, and then there were actually 2 kind of up there. There was one sort of buried back there, if we can focus. And there was also one sort of in this general area. I wish they had kept that on these, but I guess it's not really feasible to do considering how they modified it. Hump in the back, even though it's not rear-wheel drive. Door panels. One thing I like about these is that I'm going to see how well I can show this. The windows in the back seat actually roll all the way down, which is very nice because a lot of modern cars don't have windows that roll all the way down. So that's a very nice touch to have, actually. One thing I forgot to show up here, actually, the cup holders and then the center console here, which is pretty deep. And this sort of bounces up, so that's nice. Coat hooks back here, and your handle, curtain airbags, of course. One thing I will show about the newer models of this that I dislike is that the older models, when you folded the seats, the lever was down there, but when you folded them, the bottoms actually went down into the floor. On these, that doesn't happen, and they moved the handle up here. But my biggest complaint with the back seats, they no longer recline. I mean, they recline, sort of, but in the old ones, you had like that much play in the seat, and it was nice to have. Cup holders, nice cloth seats again. Move on to the lift gate, the trunk. It's manual, obviously, because it's base model. 2 handles, which is nice. The other one only had 1. You've got your what do you call that? The sunshade, sort of. Not the sunshade, the cargo cover, which you just pull out like that. I will insert a clip here of how to remove that. Or maybe not, I'll just sort of show you. You lift up these, and there's the donut. Those 2 panels come out, and then you simply just pull here and remove it. It's nice to have. It's nice that it's removable, too. Pretty decent-sized back seat. You could get a lot of cargo in here if you had the seat down and the cargo cover out. Anyways, got coat hooks, or not coat hooks, you have the cargo hooks down there. It's pretty much all there is to see. There's a little light there that you can turn on and off to come on with the trunk. Pull this down. It is you sort of have to push it harder than on the old models, which is not my favorite thing. See right here you have the other side. This side is the one with the bigger piece. Seatbelt. I do like the fact that they did away with this middle seatbelt that came out of the ceiling. I thought that looked really tacky, so I'm glad they implemented it into the seat. And the passenger seat. This is basically what the car looks like from the passenger seat. One thing I forgot to show are actually the wiper controls, so we'll look at those. Like I said, the stock is over here. Nice wipers. One thing that bugs me to no end about these newer Toyota models, if you get the base model, you do not have intermittent wipers. You have one intermittent setting, but I've seen 2006 Tacomas that are base models that have a little dial here to adjust the time between wipes. You have to step up a model to get that, and I find that truly ridiculous. I triggered the rear one. Pull forward, you can spray that. The rear wiper, which is kind of blocked by a headrest, but it's there. Wash it. Courtesy wipe. That's what Ford called it. And yeah. Oh, another thing about them I like. If you leave them on and then you shut the car off, they go back to their resting place. I like that over them standing straight up on the windshield. It looks kind of odd. But yeah, there's the little chrome strip. Other visor. And your other bar. Door panel's the same. So in conclusion, and owning this car for exactly 366 days, since this is a leap year, I would have to say we're very happy with this car. It's pretty much probably my favorite RAV4 we've gotten. Technically, all three of the RAV4s we've gotten are different generations. Our first one was a 14, and then in 16, I believe they refreshed them, so ours was slightly refreshed. And then in 19, they were redesigned pretty much from the ground up. So I'd have to say, if you're looking for a capable, reliable, rock-solid small SUV, and you're willing to go with a domestic, or I'm sorry, a foreign brand, I highly recommend you look at these. Very good vehicles, especially if you get the adventure package. That's the highest end one. You can get basically a pickup truck, capable off-roader in an SUV, a small SUV too, almost the size of the Jeep Wrangler. I think it's just slightly bigger. So if you want to go off-road, you want to get a new one, you can go into the $30,000 range. I think the highest end model is $35,000 something. But if you want the off-roading package, you can easily get truck capabilities in a small SUV. You could take this off-roading, it'd just be slightly harder because it's not all-wheel drive. We've never had an all-wheel drive one though. We don't really need it. But, I mean, we live in Michigan, so it'd be helpful, but we're not willing to really pay for that because we don't need it. We've never gotten stuck in these. So yeah, in conclusion, we've owned this for a year pretty much, and it's great. Oh yeah, you can also see up there are roof racks of sorts. I don't know if they're actually roof racks. They sort of are just anchors. See, like that car right there, that Vibe, has actual roof racks. I don't know if you'd call these roof racks. They're sort of just anchor points, or designs. But yeah, thank you for watching this video of this beautiful 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE front-wheel drive in Ruby Red Flare. Ruby Flare Pearl, I believe is the color. Thank you very much for watching, and that is it.